The flame hero Endeavor, Japan's #1 hero. Star and Stripe, the United States #1 hero. They are undoubtedly the two most respected pro heroes in the My Hero universe. But what if rather than support, Star and Stripe arrived to Japan just to find out who's really the strongest? Yo, Norf back again with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Endeavor and Star and Stripe, and why as far as their scaling goes, they are actually a lot closer than people seem to believe. Before I get into it, I'd appreciate if you left a like and subscribe. It's completely free and only supports me with no downside on your end. Anyway, let's get into it. So as season 7 is kicked off, I'm sure you've all seen the fight. So I'm sure you know exactly how powerful Star and Stripe really is. But I'm gonna have to tell you again. Star and Stripe is the #1 hero in the United States. A prodigy of All Might who in his younger days abroad saved her and inspired her to become a hero. And of course she hit the genetic jackpot with her insanely powerful quirk New Order, which blatantly grants her the ability to manipulate the laws of reality that inanimate and living objects are bound to. Even incorporeal things like light and air. All For One referred to her as the greatest obstacle and the ultimate opportunity for he and Shigaraki, and also the strongest woman around. Her being referred to as the greatest obstacle obviously just blatantly implies that she is beyond every hero around. Following her defeat, it was stated explicitly that she was hailed as the strongest hero, period, leading to other nations even retracting their promise to support Japan with forces. She can use her quirk to manipulate 2 different laws at a time, with one generally being perpetually used on her own body, this enhancing her physical ability that reaches the absolute max level for a human apparently, barring strength boosting quirks of course, as it's stated that her physicals pale in comparison to All Might, putting her likely far beyond the Endeavor and even like Mario tier of physical strength. I bring those two up as they both lack physical enhancement quirks, but still retain very impressive physical feats otherwise. Her physical strength alone is capable of matching Shigaraki in a charge forward and sending him flying with just a punch. She's able to dodge his raw radio waves and of course would scale relative to his speed, as she did meet him halfway on her way to punching him. When utilizing her quirk for combat, she is seen completely erasing the air within a large portion of space ahead of her, creating a vacuum that immediately led to Shigaraki's eyes beginning to bleed, and him covering his mouth and nose to avoid suffocating. She also was able to transform the air in her vicinity to essentially a kaiju version of herself that is standing 1,000 times her regular size and is basically imperceivable to the naked eye. She was able to grab raw light, manipulate vectors and redirect missiles instantly, and even place a law on Shigaraki that said he would die if he moved. The last feat only failing due to the ongoing identity crisis within Shigaraki, but under any other circumstance this would be an instant win move. Also note that for this battle I will not be granting Star and Stripe her fighter squadron or access to missiles. This is just meant to be a one-on-one fight to determine who is the strongest, and with her missiles needing special clearance, they wouldn't really qualify as standard equipment. So now that I've established Star and Stripe's reputation, her physical strength, speed, and her insane hacks abilities, how exactly does Endeavor even stand a chance? Well, Endeavor was shown going toe-to-toe with a similarly incomplete Shigaraki immediately following his emergence. He's able to keep up with Shigaraki, reacting to, avoiding, and landing hits on him in the early stages of the fight. But as the fight goes on, not only is it stated that Shigaraki is getting faster, likely as he stabilizes, but Endeavor is also getting slower as his body begins to overheat. Regardless of this fact, I'll give him the full benefit of the doubt and of course say he's comparable to Shigaraki in the same way Star is, making their speeds essentially equal, with Endeavor's flames being even faster than himself in all likelihood. Physically, he's able to take hits from Shigaraki's air cannon, though it should be noted that Shigaraki seemed disinterested with Endeavor at best, and seemed to casually be holding him at bay as he chases Eraserhead in order to regain his quirk's abilities. He was shown continually blitzing Endeavor in his attacks and completely weaving his variety of attacks with ease. Though of course, as far as the AP side of things go, Endeavor is capable of burning up the likes of Shigaraki and All For One. Also, it should be acknowledged that fire attacks do bypass their abilities to an extent, as at a certain level of heat, a lack of heat resistance will lead to severe damage to internals such as your organs. He also was able to completely char the bodies of Shigaraki and All For One, but I want to say that all of Endeavor's feats against All For One came against All For One with his life support system, and after it was damaged, in case you think that All For One is for some reason faster than Shigaraki, which can only really be argued for like his prime form, which Endeavor really has no feats against. He only ever got his attacks off against like this really kind of weak All For One. Though I don't want to completely downplay Endeavor, he was indeed in a bad mental state, and it's basically stated that his heart isn't in the fight and he's under a lot of mental distress. So the two heroes are comparable in speed, they both have comparable levels of durability, as Star's durability would scale to her physical AP, and both have ways of bypassing durability, so who would take it in the fight? Who really is the strongest? Deku. Well, contrary to the title of this video, I think it's pretty obvious that one side does seem to have the odds stacked in their favor. With a vastly superior ability, I see absolutely no reason why Star wouldn't absolutely win this fight 9 times out of 10. She can create a complete vacuum in Endeavor's area, basically instantly killing him and also suffocating the flames that make up his arsenal. If she even manages to touch Endeavor again, an instant kill. Though it is unknown whether or not hero names or aliases work for her quirk, I wouldn't bet she knows Endeavor's full name, as he is from Japan and she's obviously an American hero. But being that Dabi did publicly out his father, it is completely possible that she would know his full name and be able to just cast him under her new order. And she has shown to be heat resistant, as she can take hits from lasers with no issues, with the same lasers being able to hurt Shigaraki. I don't, however, believe it to be heat resistance on the level of Endeavor or his flames, as when condensing every laser into one and attacking Shigaraki, it is directly likened to that of Endeavor's condensed flame attacks. And it's even implied to be even weaker, as it is stated that Endeavor would have beaten Shigaraki if this laser could. And I guess it's even demonstratably weaker, as Endeavor was able to take Shigaraki's body down nearly to cinders, while in the face of this laser, he could just completely out-regenerate this laser, with it acting as just a stun lock. With this condensed laser being Star's most powerful attack on screen, minus her intercontinental ballistic missile punch, and durability bypassing moves, it is a fair assessment to say that Endeavor, as far as raw power goes, would be more powerful. But I've only touched on the stuff she's done on screen. What about the stuff she can do? Let's say with a controller up her ass, right? You can make her do anything with her quirk. She could possibly make herself fire resistant to the level that would allow her to almost no-sell Endeavor's flames potentially. What if she solidifies the air around Endeavor and just completely crushes him? Though for that one, I guess it could be argued that this wouldn't work offensively, as it is shown to be a law in the My Hero universe that matter cannot overlap, as we've seen with Emirio. Regardless though, depending on how creative you can get, she basically is limitless in her variety of attacks that make durability negligible. I don't exactly think Endeavor has nearly as many possible win cons. I think if he manages to close the gap and quickly, Star might have a super hard time surviving a prominence burn, but I just don't see it happening with her insane range, and they have comparable speed, so it's kind of iffy to assert that Endeavor would be able to just like blitz at her before she can get off a crazy attack. So I will say, even with their similarity in terms of speed and power output, as far as raw hacks goes, Star just completely outclasses them. I'm also just remembering her fist bump to the earth, which was capable of splitting and dispersing clouds on a high level. I just truly don't know how he could ever really defeat her. But I guess this video was more so to just compare their physical abilities and talk about how they stack up to one another. This just goes to show that while not always the case, in most conversations on hypothetical fights, hacks truly trumps all.